Welcome to the channel. I'm going to give you my first impression thoughts. I wouldn't really call it a review of Madden 25 on the PS5, preferring visuals as there are 3 different graphical modes that you could choose from. This is my own YouTube video so that I can just talk and not be distracted with playing and we're not just stuck staring at my bald pumpkin head. For me, the gameplay is really nice. The animations, the tackling, the boom tech gimmick that they brought. To me, it's really, really nice. I feel a noticeable enough of a difference from 24 that I'm happy I bought the game. So I bought the $200 Canadian version that gave me 3 days early access to this game and the college football one. Watched the animation here. That was really nice. But when they get up and it's like during a cutscene like that, it looks like he's trying to hump him there. I'm just saying, hashtag me too. It's just something that you'll see a lot of. Not the humping part, where they collide into each other during a cutscene. When you're actually on the field playing, it's just really nice. I'm not really noticing anything really weird or out of place. We could say that Madden as a whole has been out of place for quite a long time. I remember 04, 07, couple of titles in between. 18 was a decent little jump from the prior ones before. And I feel like in the last couple of years, we're slowly... Oh, did you see that spear? That was crazy. Take a look at that again. That was just something a little goosey there. Let's go ahead and take a look at that again. But just watch. Boom! What the hell? That was awesome. I don't know. I've never really seen as many, oh shit, did you see that moments as I have in prior years. And to me, I really appreciate that. And I think it has to do with the whole right stick, trucking, boom tech, tackling thing that they've implemented. And it definitely looks and feels different. It looks and feels different compared to college football 25. Whether or not that's a good thing or a bad thing, that's going to be a personal preference thing. Me, I'm not into the college thing. I don't want to spend too much time talking about the college thing. We all know how great it is. It's a great game. But with the band music and all that, and it's really fast-paced. For me, this is going to replace college football. I'm probably going to uninstall it. It's not an insult. I got a lot of games on my PlayStation, okay? I don't need 2 football games and like 3 Assassin's Creeds and 3 tennis games. I just want like 1 of each. I want to spend more time on this title. I've already dumped in quite a few hours into the college football one. And kudos to that team, which is different than this team. Different engine, different feeling when you're playing the tackle. It's different. And I just noticeably prefer this one. See, again, little awkward clipping into one another during the cutscene, but I'm not too worried about that. I used to remember when you used to see their XP above their head during not a replay like this, but an actual cutscene, and it would always jitter, and it would drive me absolutely nuts. That's been gone in the last couple of years. Okay, so enough about that. Now if I wanted to talk about some of the negatives, which I've already talked about in individual videos. When you go to edit your roster, okay, and you go to use the function that says trade players, it's just going to revert your roster back to the original. So unless you're just going to do a one-time quick swap and then you're going to back out and never touch it again, then you're good. If you actually want to get in there and start editing your roster and whatnot, you're going to have a harder time. And I saved this part of the video for the end because this isn't a Madden 25 thing. This is just a Madden thing, period. You can't go hog wild like you can in MLB The Show, EA's NHL, 2K's NBA, FIFA, or whatever that thing is called now. Any other sports game, I can grab all the legends. I can grab all the old players. I don't see anything in here that I can grab from old players. I don't see that. So I can have just anybody I want. If I want Shaquille O'Neal, if I want Dennis Rodman, playing with LeBron and Kobe, Yeah, I can do that if I want. If I want Iverson in there, I can do it, and it doesn't cost me anything. It's just a straight up trade from the main menu before I get into the franchise version of the game, and there's no issues. Hell, if I wanted Tom Brady, now unless I'm missing something here and I'm a complete idiot, I can't even find him. He's not a legend yet, right? Or at all in some people's minds. But my point is, I can't even do that. If I wanted Colin Kaepernick, for example, where is he? I can't find him. But if he was an NHL player, he'd be on my NHL team. If he was in baseball, he'd be on my MLB team, okay? We go all the way back to Babe Ruth, for crying out loud, some of the original baseball players. So when it comes to really deep diving and customizing your team the way you see fit, you want to turn off the fatigue. You want it so that nobody gets subbed out. You don't care about subbing out players like, every other sports team does. Every other sport does, I mean. You can't really do that in this one. I'm having a heck of a time. The best I've had is by the time I get to the fourth quarter, everybody, no matter how good their energy is just getting subbed out. Now, I did some of the changes after a couple of games, just a couple of games. And in prior history of these games, some people have been having issues with, like, their starter quarterback or just their starter lineup. They'll take a couple of balls and then do a couple of plays, and then they don't see them for like 3 or 4 games practically. Or they do see them each game, but only for a couple of plays. It's like, well, what just happened there? Like, it makes no sense. Not as bad in this year's title, but enough that when I got my lineup, even though it's not realistic, I want to see the same players throughout the entirety of the game. They're not getting tired. I got the progressive fatigue off. I've got fatigue off for both me and the CPU so that it's balanced in that regards. But they're still getting subbed out. So to me, you could be grinding and, working throughout a whole season. And in some cases, your starters don't even come back near the end. And to me, it's like, well, what the hell? That to me is almost like game breaking from an immersion standpoint. So that I wanted to talk about because that's still relevant here. Again, as soon as you go to trade players, boom, you're gone. When you're outside of franchise mode again and you're at the main menu editing your roster, depending on the team you select, you may have 60 to $120 million headroom cap to play with. And if you've got some players that are worth 6, 7, 8, 10 million, I mean, you do the math. You do the math. You might be able to get like a solid, depending on how expensive they are. You're able to probably pull in like a good half a dozen. Like I chose Miami Dolphins. I was able to trade like a good 6 players with no issues, just straight swap. Okay. And then you're able to go into franchise mode. Then you're able to trade. Yeah, you could trade who you want. You can edit their contract, how much money they're worth. You can't do that outside of the mode. Any other sports game, again, you can do that. You could change how much they're worth, but you don't need to do that because you could just freely swap them anyways. Even when you put it on very easy trade, it ain't all that very easy. You still have to revert to that thing where you got to make like Aaron Rodgers a fucking punter and make him worth like a 34 overall, then trade him, then bring him back. But then what were his abilities? Now you got to mark it down. Oh, because he's an 83 and he's not an 85. Oh, he can't have the Deadeye perk, but he had it originally. So now I got to increase his overall rating. Chances are that's not going to be an issue for you if you're grabbing people that are 85, 90, and above. 9 times out of 10, whatever abilities were there will be available. But there's just so much like intricate tweaking. It's frustrating. And then when you go to view all teams, it's also glitched. When you do it the first time, excuse me, it'll work. But then the second time you go to make a trade between the Bears and the Vikings, you're not going to see all teams. But then when you're in franchise, sometimes if you scroll down in alphabetical order and you go down to N for NFL, then you could see all the teams. Just a lot of like weird shit like that. And to me, it drives me nuts. So I started a new franchise mode. I haven't started it yet because I did everything like right from the hop. No progressive fatigue, no penalties, no sub-ins, no depth chart auto change. Oh, that was a nice place. Nice sack. I did all those things, and I'm going to make sure that everything is like, is you know what I mean, is good. I've got the sub in and out at 0 and 1 for the ins. It's always got to be at least one in. You know what I'm saying? On the out, it could be 0. From the main menu, both can actually be 0. For the sub in, for quarterbacks, for every other position, you could do 0, 0, 0 from the main menu. But once you go into franchise, it reverts back to the norm, which is like in the 70s and 80s in, and then 60 out. And the lowest you can get the in is 1, and then out is 0 for each position, which is normal. But like I said, I still get subbed out. Not as much, but it's still happening. It's driving me nuts. But again, I wanted to save that last part for the end because it is not, again, an NFL 25 issue. It's an overall Madden issue. College football, I didn't notice it because honestly, I didn't know the players. I had no emotional connection to them. So I didn't feel the need to be like, oh, I need this person on this team. Plus, you can't do that. It's college. It's very rare that you'll actually have players get traded. In that same regards, you can't change any of their stats in college football, which makes sense, doesn't make sense to some people. But when you really think deep about it, it actually does make sense because they are unprofessional athletes, and you're just not able to do that. You have less control over the college football. But if you don't care about editing your team too much, you just want to swap out like a good handful of players right from the get-go, from the main menu, save your roster, and then import it into franchise, and you don't plan on doing anything too wild with that, it's going to be a non-issue. The overall thing, just like, I don't know, that little move there, then it looked like he kind of, landed a little bit funny from the physics or whatever. When he saw that I did the touchdown. I just feel like in similar situations and plays in other games, it would have just been like he would have kicked my butt. He would have just like ran into me or whatever. So I don't know. Maybe it's just a coincidence. Maybe it does happen in other games and I've never really noticed. But overall, for an amateur like me, it's just been like an incredible amount of fun to be playing this game. Watch the footage. Try the trial. Give this one, I mean, I say that every year. Give this one a shot because your tolerance for what you're willing to put up with and not willing to put up with can differ from person to person. But in terms of like, oh, he kicked the ball and then I grabbed it and then he kind of grabbed me and his arm went twitching and it flew off into the sky. I haven't experienced any of that. And I've experienced some really broken games like Witcher 3 on day one, Cyberpunk 2077. But for people that are well-versed in NFL football, I mean, like, they are the Albert Einstein of football, which I am not at all. I'm the Joe Biden of football, and I could admit it. You may be able to pick out more nuances than I can. Like, maybe you could see something that was wrong with that play, which to me there wasn't. People will start analyzing stuff in a language I don't understand. I'll have a better chance of understanding Chinese than I do what some people are saying in English here talking about football. I'm having a lot of fun. I just want this video to end actually so I could just go back and play it. And I've been playing between rookie and pro for myself. This one here is actually on rookie and I am winning, not by like a large margin, whereas in prior games I would be winning like 50, 60, 70-ish to like 7. Here, I'm finding I gotta not be as much of an idiot. See, like, just like, I don't know, something like that. I feel like if that was in like 24 or 23, I more than likely would have made that play. I very rarely get intercepted or fumbled or anything like that. But in this game, it happens a bit more, but not to the point where it's completely broken because I am still able to win. Yeah, like I said, this is probably, which is why it's just a first impression review. It's probably not that great of a video, honestly. See, that was actually kind of funny if you look at that. Watch the lack of the catch there. I normally would have. I'm just saying. I've seen simple throws like that. I'm dropping the ball, fumbling it, whatever you want to call it, getting it intercepted. Not an insane amount, but a lot more than in prior games. So it's making me have to hone in to my skills better, even though I'm lacking the skills really bad. I'm just done talking. I feel like I didn't really have much to offer in the first place, but I felt like I needed to make this video because I wanted to get it off my chest that I paid for this game with my own money. I don't work for EA, okay? I've said this before. Have you seen how many videos I've put out in 5 years, how many subs I have, how many views I average per video? I'm lucky to make a nickel or a dime per video. So when I do this, it's because I enjoy making these videos. It's not because I'm desperate for those 34 views I'm going to get on a video. You could just look at my history, and because I do so poorly on YouTube, but I act and talk and all this and go at it like it's a full-time job and I'm PewDiePie, and you might be wondering, and I've been asked, why do you keep bothering? No offense. It's like, because I actually really enjoy what I do. I really, really do. And the proof is, literally, look at my views on my videos. The last 100 videos I've uploaded together may have accumulated to maybe $10. You think I'm going to talk all this bullshit to make $10? I could just go across the street and water my neighbor's fucking plants and make more money than that. In less than a fraction of the time I spend rambling on about all this bullshit. Thumbs up if you like the video. It does greatly help support that channel with the algorithm, so they say, in trying to make me more relevant in the search results when people are looking shit up. If you didn't like the video, go ahead, give it a thumbs down. I'll bend it in half, twist it. I'll break it off in your ass. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, see, that was pretty smooth to me. That would be great, but if not, I get it. I get it. There's a lot of people out there. Thanks for stopping by anyways. Take care. And again, if you made it to the end, honestly, I feel bad for making this video so long and not really offering a lot of intricate information. I'm just speaking out loud what I think with no script, and that's pretty much it. All right. Bye for now.